February 5th, 2022, I spoke with Lily Fawn and Eric Hogg of Hush Hush Noise. Hush Hush Noise is an experimental pop band from Victoria, BC, who combine organic sounds with electronics to create memorable songs. An ever-changing creation of sound that wavers between the pit of your worst fears and the euphoria of love at its peak. Sweet melodies, lush harmonies, shimmering guitars, big beats, chaos, and beauty. Hush Hush Noise will be performing in person as Songs from the Black Lodge at the Victoria Event Centre for a Twin Peaks evening on Friday, February 25th at 8 p.m.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Lily Fawn.
I'm Eric Hogg.
Oh, and we are Hush Hush Noise.
But I think Eric's just dazzled by disappearing and reappearing.
I want to be the disappearing guy.
No,
what do I need to do?
I think
you just don't have whatever it is that makes a person disappear. Camera.
Severe introversion.
That's the X factor.
Oh, I found a spot. I found a spot in the wall. Oh my God. Okay, well, good morning.
Morning.
We have our special coffee mugs.
Oh my gosh! Explain. Talk about the coffee mugs. What's the story on the coffee mugs?
Okay, I got these at David Lynch's. I went and saw David Lynch put on he was doing a fundraiser for his nonprofit group, which is people with PTSD.
Oh my God! I didn't know he did. I know that he did the transcendental meditation. I didn't know that he also did.
I think that's the same thing. His transcendental meditation is geared towards people with lots of PTSD.
Okay, right on.
So I'm not going to speak for him of what he's trying to
do there, but yeah.
But yes, I went to that huge event in LA, and it was awesome.
Sweet.
Angelio Baliamenti played. It was really, really cool. So anyway, this was one of his little merch items that he was selling. I wish I could get it close enough to...
I know, and also it wants to vanish. It's really weird. Now your cup and yourself are vanishing, but Eric is not. I think that's a part of the wonderful mystique of these mugs, is that they are not meant entirely to be seen again unless you purchase them.
That's right.
You are the owner of the mug.
They go back to the Black Lodge, and then they bounce between that dimension.
What's on them?
So it basically says 1, 2, 3, and then the 1 is a log, 2 is a coffee, 3 is a donut.
Is it a riddle? It's log. Is it a riddle log, coffee, donut? Or is it
log, coffee, donut?
Got to start with the log, then onto your coffee, and then finish with your donut.
I mean, almost every scene, the log lady's in the Double R diner having a coffee while someone else is in there. So maybe it's just all about her log, coffee, and the donuts.
That's all. It's, I guess, the accessories that are associated with people from Twin Peaks.
I've never really cracked her code. Maybe this is it.
Maybe it is. You need to have a log to start your day. However you imbibe on a log, and then you move on to that coffee to keep that sort of vibe going, and then you finish it off with a donut because you get burnt out from the whole.
Wash it down with a donut.
But instead today we have healthy homemade muffin.
Well, that's pretty close to a donut. You know, it's got delicious carbs. Maybe there's some sweetness to it. What's in the muffin? What's going on?
I made a pecan. Just a pecan muffin.
Pecan muffin? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
How do you like your coffee, Eric?
No.
Black as night at midnight, or whatever the
as black as midnight on a moonless night. There you go. Let's try for the edit. Let's try this again. How do you like your coffee, Eric?
I got a mouthful of muffin.
Now, one more time of feeling.
Whatever, Bob.
Yeah, the thing. I can't even do it.
It's hard with the 2 fingers.
Oh, and she does it with the 2. That's right. And she leans forward. Well, that just adds to the whole weirdness of that experience. I do think it's a shame that the arm couldn't come back and he had to return as a tree with a ball on top. You know?
Yeah, that was a bit weird.
There's a lot of weird things about the return, you know.
Here's something interesting. So I heard that Fire Walk with Me got very poor review.
Oh, really?
Way
Okay.
back when.
At cons, it got booed apparently.
At where?
At cons like the
Oh.
big film festival.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I
I was
guess,
very
well,
surprised.
I suppose, if you're going to be critical of it in the sense of it looking like it was done on video versus like film, how there's that different look, then maybe there's that. And then if you're not a big follower of the Twin Peaks series leading up to that point, before the return, of course, maybe it's hard to follow and you just get into, you're like, what the fuck is going on?
But you would think anybody who's like,
At cons, would have some idea of David Lynch and what he's up to, and
Yeah.
it's crazy that they would boo that.
because after seeing the series of Twin Peaks, like both seasons, I was totally stoked on having Firewalk with Me was awesome. It was like,
Yeah.
how could we carry on without Firewalk with Me? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it has so many interesting symbolism pieces in it that you don't really get to see as much in the series. It was like just one long trip to the Black Lodge.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's how do you keep people happy? You can't anymore. Nobody's happy with anything.
Well, nobody was happy in the 90s. We know that.
That's why they wore pants like that. No.
So Eric and I just started watching. We rewatched the pilot, and now we're watching episodes. I think we're on episode 6.
Something like that.
We're trying desperately to get through them before the show, but
Yeah.
I mean,
we'll make it.
we
We've got
know them
a couple
all.
of
Like
weeks.
we've memorized them all, but
Get
it's
there.
it's still really fun to revisit.
Yeah.
One of the things that I'm enjoying quite a bit are the little clips where in the scene, a scene within a scene, they're watching TV and it's a little soap opera
Oh yeah.
on
Yeah, those are good.
TV,
What was
like The Young and the Restless.
What was the name of that soap opera? I can't remember it. It had a funny name.
Gosh.
I don't recall.
It has
Oh.
a really inane, silly name like Love something. And then there's that voice. Oh, I
It's,
gotta
it's
find it now. Yeah.
a parody. It's a parody on like The Young and the Restless and like whatever it was with something with children.
Eric's looking it up. I can see him. He's doing it. I know it bugs me. I want to know the name. But yeah, it totally is a play on The Young and the Restless. My grandfather loved Young and the Restless and would always watch that. It was like,
It's
Horrible.
called Invitation to Love.
that's
Oh.
it. An invitation to love. Right? Like
She's just like, no,
all these dramatic emotions that are just horrible that are going on in it.
Oh, it's so good though because Twin Peaks is such a great parody on that kind of
Mm.
sort of TV style, and it was an after-school special. Like it came on at 4 o'clock or whatever, 3:30.
Right. Yeah. So it really was going to be seen by a lot of younger generations, and it was about teens, but really demented teen experience.
Oh my God, it was a horrible teen murder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty grim.
But I remember I was a little bit too young for it. I don't know. I didn't get into it until I was a little bit older.
Mm.
I remember it coming on TV and seeing the intro with the sawmill. And it's like such a good intro, and just being like, click, past, click, click, click. I was like, I'm not watching this.
I'm not watching this right now.
Yes.
Little did you know. Little did you know. You never know how it plays out in life, right? Or what you're going to be super down for, or super into.
Well,
Yeah.
it was, and now I'm noticing that young people today can't really just they whatever it is that we're seeing that's funny about it or clever, they're not really getting it the same way.
I don't know how to broach this, but it's been a topic that I've kind of wanted to bring up on the show in a while. But I don't know if you guys have seen Euphoria. Have you heard of Euphoria, the series? Well, it's being touted as being a show that's like directed to the youth of today. So I guess Generation Z. And it is basically this drug-addled nightmare of teenage debauchery that's supposed to be taking place in the present. So it could be that there's these types of things that are now interesting to Generation Z, and Twin Peaks is just not risque enough, which is hard to believe to say at this point,
It's pretty risque. You know what I'm thinking is that it doesn't move fast enough.
Yes.
Like it's very
that
slow.
might be it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even I noticed this. Like we're on episode 6, and like I started to get a little of the like drifting away moments where I really notice how life moves so much faster now.
Yeah.
Constant
It does.
distraction.
And then also the way our brains have changed from using smartphones, it's just a matter of it. And then the amount of time we do need to use computer stuff and the instantaneous gratification of that, it is changing our attention spans. I do believe there's one crazy little article that I came across a while ago that was saying that our attention spans have gone down to 5 seconds. So when you're making like advertisable material, you have to hook somebody within 5 seconds. Otherwise, forget it. You're done. They're not going to be interested. It's done. So yeah, stuff moved at a slower pace and things could build. Now it's like, show me the money now. Otherwise, I'm leaving.
Yeah. Oh God. Okay. So when you edit this video, every 5 seconds or so, just have like dicks.
Yeah, exactly.
Boobs.
Suddenly for no reason. Oh,
Donuts.
I'm so interested again. What was that?
I don't know. Just one old lady trying to take a chance at.
I just had a image in my mind of going and getting like, I don't know how I could call it public domain, but public domain 70s pornography and then just getting shots of that. No, I'm not going to do that to you guys. That'd be terrible.
Well, I have
support
some
that
great
idea.
vintage porno magazines if you just want me to hold them up really quick.
That's a good thing to do too. Just randomly flash it.
Yeah, I have Miss Tahiti of 1970. Should I go get it?
Yeah, go for it. Go get Miss Tahiti, 1973. That sounds incredible.
Well, I mean, it'll fit in with the, what was the magazine that Laura was in, and also Ronette Polanski.
Hey, there, Eric, can you look that up?
Okay. Yeah.
Perfect. I don't know what the magazine was called, but I know what Lily's referring to. And I don't know the best way to type it in to find it.
Yeah, huh. What kind was it, a nudie mag? What kind of mag?
Yeah, it was Laura Twin Peaks Laura Palmer nudie mag. See if that comes up with anything.
Okay.
Probably you'll end up getting like really bad Twin Peaks fan porn or something.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm clicking on images here. Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Laura, looking good. I
Looking
think it might be Laura
Flash
lookalike.
World. It was called Flash World.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what it was. Flash World. So I guess I beat you to it. Eric went down a different rabbit hole.
No, I'm just these are mostly Laura lookalikes, I guess.
Eric's really digging it.
Oh, here's a vintage. Okay, this might actually. That doesn't look.
No,
like her.
that is not.
It was called Flash World. I found
Flash
it.
World. We've got
Flash
ourselves
World.
in a bit of a pickle here now.
That kind of looks.
Ourselves in a bit of a pickle.
Oh wow.
Jeez, Eric. Oh wow. Oh wait,
I
hold
don't know
on.
what's going on there.
Oh, I think that Zoom is automatically censoring this obscenity seen images.
Oh, maybe that's why I keep.
Occasional.
I'm being
man,
censored
yeah.
every time I appear because I'm too obscene looking.
That's right. That's how this is based. Oh. I just saw a glimpse of buttocks.
You're only gonna get a glimpse. That's how it's gonna be.
Just a glimpse. Oh, that's enough to get people. What was that? Was that a naked man laying there?
Yeah. Every 5 seconds, I'm on it.
Okay, cool. That sounds great. Well, with that in mind, and since we've gotten everyone's attention captured after seeing that naked man for a brief moment, Lily.
This guy's holding a donut
He
in
is
front of
holding a
his
donut.
dick.
That's
Oh.
appropriate. I don't know if you'll be able to see that.
I'm seeing just the outline of him. You need to straighten your hand a bit, then we can see that
Okay.
donut action.
in there.
That sounds obscene, isn't it?
It's like
Oh,
how did you
You're
get
just
behind
gonna have to. What's the name of the magazine, Lily? What's the name
The,
of the magazine?
the Occasional Man, written by Bettina May, our very own lovable and dearest Bettina
Then-
May.
You have to get your own hard copy to see Donut Man,
You
because
will.
there's no way that you're gonna see it as clearly as you would like to in this particular conversation. Only
Well, I'm
10.
ready. I'm ready. I believe one of these books has a nude of Hank Pine in here.
Ooh. Ooh. Secrets
Really?
being revealed. That's what happens when you are an established creative force.
I'm full of secrets.
Full of secrets. Oh, I also just noticed the wonderful owl pin too. Nice one.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. The accessories are out of this world. They're incredible. Okay, Lily, your musical experience and practice is vast. and diverse, and yet it always features a meeting of authentic sweetness and brooding darkness. How do these two seemingly conflicting concepts come together so perfectly in your work?
Well, that's just my natural primordial chaos.
Whoa.
Me?
Oh, yeah.
Well, primordial chaos is a pretty cool concept, and you
That's
definitely
also the
wear
name
well.
of my death metal band, so.
Primordial.
We should have used that. We should have used that for Hush Hush Noise. That we should have been called Primordial Chaos. It would have influenced our direction, I think.
Can't you guys do an album called Primordial Chaos?
We could.
We will.
We still need an album title.
We have to. It's going to be
what we're
all
working on.
death metal, though. So.
There you go. There you've got it. Primordial Chaos, and it's
in a week.
inspired by the wonderful combination of sweet and sour that Lily constantly produces and makes. That sounds really weird. I don't think you produce
Sour.
sour, you
Sweet
know.
and sour Lily.
Sweet and sour Lily. Production of that sounds a bit gross. I mean that in the most loving way, like.
Well, you know, my lullaby album was called Brightest Darkest.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got that named for me by my high school sweetheart. We were together for years, and he just always said I was the brightest darkest.
That's a good.
So I guess, yeah.
Well,
There's
he picked
Alex.
up on something.
Was that?
Well, he picked up on something, and I think, you know, I don't mean to be banal in saying it, but it's hard to straddle both worlds and to effectively amalgamate them into something, right? And so, yeah, that is a really great way to describe that. And I, you know, I guess I just didn't know my own way. I just kind of had my own way of going there. I was like, there's sweetness, but there's something a bit more creepy in a good way, because I think being creepy is cool. That's just me, right? But I mean, like, there's this balance, and it's hard to have that balance. So I love that.
Well, I find that one relieves the other. You know,
okay.
like
Yeah.
the light is really creative for me, and the darkness is like sort of mystery. And they have to sort of give each other a break. Otherwise, too much of one thing is just, you know, it's precarious and harmonious at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, the Hank and Lily show was very much like we took our characters and made them into like comic book characters. So it's yourself, but mega amplified into this crazy story. And so when we did those shows, it was very much a, you know, okay, tonight we're doing this scene from this comic book and it's this character. But like as an artist in general, especially in Hush Hush Noise and or my solo album, I find that I just am a very emotional musician. So whenever I'm doing art, that's just how it is. I can't separate the heart from the sleeve, so to speak. You know, but I can also put on a bit of a character, although it's always from an authentic place. Mm. But I think, you know, just your question about, you know, the dynamic of the live performance, I just, yeah, that's the only way I know how to do it. I only know how to be.
There's when you guys do perform and just in general, I'm thinking, I'm sorry, Eric, I don't mean to neglect you, but when I'm thinking about Lily in particular, I do associate embodiment as being a big part of what you do when you do live performance.
My do-do.
Yeah, you do.
Do-do.
Do-do. Your do-do.
That's an important part.
You do.
Yeah. Sorry.
No.
I blame Sarah Silverman for everything.
Do. Yeah, embodiment is an important part of that, and I don't know. I just wouldn't. You know, it's not a flat experience, and there's a lot to be said for becoming, you know, your music, right, and becoming what you're producing. And I can only imagine how much that really has been impacted by not being able to do live performances over the course of COVID. And, you know, even though there's been these ways that people have come up with their creative, like live streaming or playing in parks or whatever, it has resulted in people kind of altering how they do things, you know, artistically and in their own practice. And has that happened for the two of you because of, in my mind, this really important feature of the embodied performative element of what you do normally.
Well, I know that I'll answer, and then because I think we had very different. I think we're very different in this way.
Yeah.
Like my result was crying on the floor in my living room, eating ice cream, and just yeah, like my outlet was gone, my focus was gone. Sometimes if I have a live performance to focus on, then I can direct that emotional energy into the project. But once that was taken away, I was just like an emotional tornado that just kept flailing around from one side of the living room to the other. But I think Eric had a different experience. So.
Oh yeah, I just hermited myself away and did a lot of recording and writing and released a couple albums with this other solo project. So that, yeah, put a lot of my creative efforts into that. And yeah. I don't know what else to
So
say
Eric
about
got very
that.
productive,
I got very productive,
and I got
yeah.
very unproductive.
And how have you guys resolved that though over time?
I wrote a couple really sad songs,
Okay.
and then we tried to play them together, but I just cried the whole time.
You think that would make it even more effective?
I just thought I would dive. We just tried to dive into it, but my hole was too deep, you know?
Right. And then if you would have gone down that rabbit hole, you may have not returned. Kind of like the way Eric has just vanished right now.
Yeah.
I went into the Black Lodge, but I didn't come out.
Yeah.
It slowly worked itself. It's working itself out, but I'm honestly, one of the reasons why I wanted to do this Twin Peaks show is because I needed something. And this is my favorite show. This is how we started playing music together. And I wasn't quite ready to do a whole bunch of originals, although we might bring out one of those new ones or something. But I just wanted to focus on a show. I needed to create an event. So that was part of my, healing process, was to just forge forward and create a show when there wasn't one.
But actually, since you brought that up, and that is something I really would love to talk about, because I know that there's other features that have come to play, but how did you two come together and start your collaborative process? Because you both have really neat experiences and backgrounds. What brought you two together, and what brought you two together to create Hush Hush Noise? And I know you do have two other projects together that are like reincarnations or different incarnations of Hush Hush Noise, and there is a Twin Peaks connection. How did it happen? For those that are not privy to that.
Well, I had a recording client actually who needed a very specific type of voice for some backing vocals on a couple songs. So he described the kind of voice that he wanted, and he wanted a voice that was very something that could almost be in like an anime series, like something very expressive. Anyway, after describing the voice, I remembered a music video that I had seen maybe a year prior to that. And it was a Lily Fawn music video. Oh, we've got some random pornography coming at you.
Oh, Lily, you gotta bring it up closer because you vanished. Oh, occasional man has arrived again. I see a hairy arm. I see a hairy limb, actually. I don't know what that was. I saw a hairy appendage with foam on it. I don't mean organic foam. I mean, of course, bathtub foam. All right.
Anyway, so yeah, we did some internet sleuthing and tracked Lily down, and with a little bit of coaxing, we got her into the studio. And then
me avoiding.
Yeah,
so shy.
she was avoiding for a while.
Oh, I was so shy.
And then she finally came in, and her and I really hit it off. We worked together really well. And then after that, she asked me if I'd be up for doing some electronic rearrangements of some of her solo songs so that she could perform them by herself without needing to rely on a band anytime she wanted to play live.
It's really hard to tour with a 7-piece band.
Yeah.
Turns out.
Yeah.
turns out.
Go figure. Dang.
I've always been in duets, right? And then all of a sudden I was like, oh no, how do we do anything?
But then the end results of that collaboration ended up so unique and compelling that I wanted to make it just a regular project between us. And so I very I sort of nervously messaged Lily on on Messenger that proposition. And,
no, you did it in face to face.
No, I sent you a message, and I remember the painful like 10 minutes or so. Well, I saw that you had seen the message, but you hadn't replied yet. So then time passed, and I was like, oh God, what's the answer gonna be? And then you're like, yeah, let's do it.
Well, actually, it was more because, I mean, the Fiji Mermaid you had asked me to be part of the Twin Peaks.
Yes, there's that too, but I wouldn't try and attempt any sort of claims on this wonderful union that took place here.
But what happened was I really wanted to be part of your Twin Peaks event, and I thought it would be a great opportunity for us to try playing together. So that was sort of one of the first. I mean,
well, that was our first live show. That like gave us a public outlet to actually be like, hey, this is a project. But yeah, it started with recording your songs, and then wanting to turn that into like a full-time thing. And then it happened to coincide with this really, really cool gig that Sabine put on. So that's
I think that it's amazing that Twin Peaks has been able to continue as a thread.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that's one of the reasons why I really enjoyed coming back to it after this COVID breakdown.
Yeah, it has been and I applaud you, because I, wanted to put this on pause, and then I became a hermit, kind of like Eric did over the pandemic, and I didn't want to leave. It's hard to get me to leave my house now, but as you know from our conversations, but I really applaud you on getting this going and making this happen this year, because it wouldn't have happened. Let's be honest, I wouldn't have happened. So I think it's wonderful, and it's kind of hopeful for the future that maybe things will begin to slowly be more comfortable, and things can be a little bit more normal, as they say, as we are moving forward. But I think it's a really adorable story what brought you two together. I do. Yeah. And it's always worthwhile and important for folks to hear it. Always, again and again and again. But so I understand also the Twin Peaks event did influence a little bit, but moreover, it led to what I enjoy the most about what you guys do. It led to you guys having different sort of compartmental projects. Like you've got songs from the Black Lodge, you've got Hush Hush Noise, you've got noise hush, and it's like you are permitting yourselves, okay, well, we can produce this kind of sound and we'll just slot it for these kinds of performances within this particular project. You want to talk a little bit about how you guys organize or make those decisions, or how that's been helpful or not helpful?
Yes.
It has been chaotic. At first we just did it all as one project. Like we didn't separate the Twin Peaks from the originals at first, but then we found that it became confusing for other people who would hear the names songs from the Black Lodge, and they would just assume that, well, it's going to be related to the Twin Peaks series or whatever. And so then when we would integrate our original songs in there, it just became a little bit unclear to other people, like what it was supposed to be. So we decided to put the different songs into different projects, just for categorization's sake. And then all the noise shows came up, so that was a whole other beast.
And you guys do some really cool stuff at Noise Tech, especially. Like I always associate, I know you've done other noise performances elsewhere, like pre-COVID. You guys were going all over the place. But I know that there's always cool stuff that you get up to with the saw and all of the sound bending. It's groovy what you get up to in Noise Hush.
I love doing noise shows with Eric. It's great. I've done a few years back. I did some of those with David P. Smith, and I think I've done one on my own. I had a saw off with this guy who had a chainsaw. And I really I enjoyed those crazy sort of be free avant-garde performances, but it had been years since I've done it. And Eric I really love doing noise shows with him. So that's fun.
Totally.
And everything is kind of is starting to sit under the umbrella of hush hush noise. Just whatever hush hush noise is whatever we want to do. But at first it was a bit confusing.
Well, you wouldn't know it. I thought that it was a really cool, and I think most will continue to see it that way, but it's like a nice way to organize your sound portfolio as a pair, right? And that's a really good system to have in place. Some things aren't going to fit with hush hush noise, and some things are going to fit with songs from the Black Lodge, and etc. So it's nice, and then you always have that option. I dig it. I admire it, but then I'm a nerd and I have files, so don't go by me.
There's no rules. We do what we want. We made a jingle for a radio station in Edmonton, and the jingle was just like, I can't remember the first part. It was
the name of the
KPN. Yeah. We do what we want. Really I don't know if they ever play it.
We need you to do that for CFUV. Like that's important.
Sure.
We need a jingle from Hush Hush Noise to be on CFUV. That is
no longer than 5 seconds. That's the attention span, people.
Oh, yeah.
Only 5 second long jingle. Oh wait, wait, bring that one up. I see a man's armpits. That's all that people need to know.
Smart. He's a smart dick. Smart dicks.
Whoa. This morning I actually made an interesting discovery. I found out that if you remove the CFUV off of our stream URL, you end up getting taken to a new radio station that streams, and it's called Dick Radio. And it starts off saying, you can't beat Dick Radio. I kid you not. And I encourage you to go and check that URL right now. You get taken to Dick Radio, and there's even a drawing of a dick, and then they're playing country music. So
perfect.
There you go. I don't know how useful that sort of mention was, but window into my morning. Dick Radio.
That's so good.
All right, get back on track. When you guys are performing and creating together, is it a symbiotic and collaborative process, like a conversation together?
No! Mine!
Rage!
I guess it's a combination of that old thing where one person will come up with a song and then you show it to your collaborator, and then you sort of
they're like, I hate it. Start again.
No. Yeah, exactly. Or you may have
the process.
ideas to improve upon it, or you might add a harmony there, or
I'm so offended.
Sad? Why so sad?
Just tear the other person's lyrics apart and rewrite them. Yeah.
So critique is a big part of your guys' practice, right? Like creative criticism is a big part of how you guys produce and create things. That's good.
Yeah, I'd say with the gentle hand, because a big part of how we create, for me anyway, is feeling really safe.
Yeah.
To be able to take any idea, because what you have in your head is probably a masterpiece, but how do you show it to somebody? And especially for me, because I don't play piano or guitar very well or anything with my instruments aren't really chord based.
yeah, totally.
So sometimes I might have just sort of a poke and peck, boop beep idea that needs to be flushed out. So feeling really safe and able to share. Or I love the idea that we don't say no to each other very often. So if I have an outlandish idea that could sound ridiculous if I told it to someone else, but he'll say, yes, let's go for that, and then it turns out, or whatever, so vice versa. Mm-hmm. You can bring any kind of weird noise or weird concept to the table, and we usually are like, ooh, yay.
That's the best kind of collaboration. Judgment free. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I love it. Right on. Well, that explains why you two are a force to be reckoned with, and you have so much notoriety Oh my God. I was checking out the website and I was like, oh my gosh, look at all these cool things these two have, garnered. All these different little awards and all these different things and all these places. It takes a team that, you're comfortable with each other and it's a safe space where you aren't going to be judged and you can really, work towards a common goal together. So, hey, it's obvious. It's obvious.
Hey.
Eric, you have a diverse musical practice as well as experience in audio production. How has audio engineering influenced your creative practice? I feel like it kind of has.
Yeah, definitely. Well, a lot of the times that I'm writing a song, I'll often start with a sound in the studio. I'll just be inspired by various samples that I have in my possession, and I'll bring that up in Ableton, and maybe I'll hear a rhythm inside, like a sample that I've collected of the environment somewhere, and then make a loop out of that, and then base a song around that. Yeah.
Tell her about some of the cool sounds you used in James' song.
Some of the sounds I used in James' song. Gosh, well, I don't even remember what
The
sounds I
Windex
used.
bottle and the bra snapping.
The bra snap.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I used those bra snap samples in a few of the. I remember I used that in The World Spins. I used the bra snap samples for the
And the scissors.
hi hat.
And the scissors.
And the scissors? Jeez,
That's in
you know
Nightingale.
more about the samples than I do.
Really great. What a cool combination of sounds. See, look at this. This is the collaborative stuff I was talking about earlier. Gosh. No, that's cool. Yeah, I can see how the audio engineering really does influence your work and also with your other projects that you do too. Like you mentioned earlier, how you went and your coping with COVID was to go and produce, and you made a bunch of stuff for the municipality, right?
That's right. Yep. Yeah, I played around with a lot of synthesizers that I hadn't really used much before, so that was fun. Just doing a lot of composing with keyboards, and then also, yeah, just getting inspired by different loops and samples I had lying around, and yeah, just, it's
Nice.
another anything goes project.
Nice. Anything
Much,
goes.
much like Hush Hush Noise, but different. Similar process though.
Sweet. Nice. You're a great team. You're a really great team. Okay, so I think that this is a key part that I've been sort of like, hedging and hopping around, but we should talk about Twin Peaks night because you're going to be playing it and
Yes.
what's going to be happening. And we have the entire decor, we have the aesthetic, let's talk about this. What are you guys going to do? What's going to
Well,
happen?
you might get mad at me, but I just spent $40 more yesterday.
I
Um,
hope you're happy with it. I'm not going to be mad at anyone for spending money.
I don't know. I mean, I was Googling like anything with this awesome chevron print. It's really hard to find good stuff with the right, you know? And when you Google Twin Peaks stuff, it's a very generic, like shower curtain with the red and then the chevron at the bottom. It's just
Yeah,
that's all they have. I don't
yeah.
know.
It's
So
good.
yeah, I've been getting like, little cute napkins and stuff.
Oh, that's adorable. Oh my
I
gosh.
can't help myself. So we're gonna decorate, obviously.
Right.
And that's a pretty big and expensive job, but it's fun to just make the venue turn into One Eyed Jack's or the Black Lodge corner or the Double R Diner vibe with the servers. The servers are doing table service.
Oh, they are. Oh,
Or
that's right. Because we're in that time zone now, like in this world with COVID.
I also asked them to.
Oh, even more exciting.
I'm horrible.
Can you do table service, please? We're matching
Well,
costumes.
maybe you get better tips. I don't know, but I just love that sort of diner vibe.
Yeah, it is. It is a fun thing.
And the people who run the venue are amazing, and all the staff are amazing. So some staff might dress up, and they're making a theme beverage, like cocktail beverages in theme of Twin Peaks. So a coffee cocktail, probably. I asked them if they would consider making Caribou Blood.
Nice.
That's a drink that I like.
Explain Caribou Blood if you
Oh,
want.
Caribou Blood. Well, I don't know what version they're going to come up with their own thing, but Caribou Blood is like red wine, whiskey, and maple syrup.
Oh, that sounds good. Yeah, I'm
It
all.
is, and it sounds like it would be disgusting, but it's really good.
But you have to like those two things. Number one, you have to have a taste for red wine and be okay with dry stuff that's not really sweet, and then you have to be into the funkiness of whiskey. So
Well, but you know, when it all comes together, yeah, it's
good.
good.
It's
It's really
great.
good.
I would imagine like smokiness is in there too. I'm
Well, maybe
into
we
it.
could burn a marshmallow, plop it on top, serve it in a little campfire cup.
Oh yeah, please. That sounds great. Basically, the atmosphere and the goodies are there. Like it's
Well,
gonna
there'll
be
be
solid stuff.
donuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we're encouraging people to dress in costumes. There's so many iconic characters from Twin Peaks. I mean, it's out of control. It's just
Yeah.
so fun. And they're not really hard costumes, and they're costumes that you could be comfortable in to party and not be like, I'm in this costume all night, you know?
Yeah, and it's itchy. That
Yeah.
sounds the big put off for me is if a costume is itchy. That's
Yes. Well, my Halloween Skeletor costume gave me a rash for 3 weeks, so that was, you know.
I didn't know you dressed up as Skeletor for Halloween and that the costume gave you a rash. That is
Yes.
the best combination of things, not for you, but for me
Uh-huh.
and anyone else to hear. It's terrible but funny.
I had a rash everywhere except where my mask was, because that was the only spot I didn't need to put any makeup, right? 'Cause my mask. So luckily, this part of my face didn't have a rash, like everywhere else. Ah.
Skeletor. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, well, that's the one thing that is fun about it is there are so many really interesting characters, and it is easy to dress up as them. Yeah, Twin Peaks is fun for that, and there's quirky characters too, right? But also there's going to be some interesting visiting characters too.
Oh,
Like
there's amazing. The
the log
lineup is
lady.
amazing. Do
Log
you,
Lady's coming.
do you want to tell them about? Do you want to tell? Do you want to share? He's left. He's left the room.
He vanished again.
Bob doesn't know anything.
Eric is pulling a Bob right now.
We've got Florence Fatale is doing burlesque numbers. She's doing an amazing opening sequence of like Laura Palmer wrapped in plastic on the beach.
Mm.
And
You guys are gonna be playing for her while she's doing that particular
that's
one.
her own. She's doing that on her own.
Okay, right on.
We're doing it right at the very beginning of the show because that's the opening scene of the pilot.
And also that's like when Twin Peaks night is happening is close to when Laura Palmer was supposed to have passed on, which
Well,
was
she died. She was murdered like the day before.
exactly February
the
24th. How wonderfully morbid and morose of us to choose to have the Twin Peaks evening close to the 24th as possible.
Well, that'll be the
COVID
the
did
day
it.
that the investigation started will be the day that we play.
So that's perfect. And so I've made a newspaper that is called the Twin Peaks Gazette, and everybody will be given one of those when they arrive, and it's going to have a news article about Laura's murder and how Dale Cooper is coming to town as an FBI agent to work on the murder. It'll have a lot of fun little tidbits about the town and things of importance, featuring bands that are playing at the Roadhouse for our show, such as Florence Fatale, I said, is doing burlesque, and she's also going to do burlesque to our live music.
Sweet.
The Log Lady is coming. I'm very
Be
excited.
sure to ask her what her log told her. You have to.
Oh, yes.
That's
And
a
tell her
key
to
part.
keep her hands off the light switches, for goodness sakes.
Oh yeah, that's right. She has a problem with those light switches. Getting everyone's attention. My log told me there is something serious going on right now. One costume that I rarely see people go for is Garland. There should be more Garlands in this world. More like
Garland.
Yeah, Garland, the father of Bobby, the guy that was like an FBI
Oh, yes.
dude
I
that was
mean,
like
the
traveling.
Major. Yeah.
Yeah, and he would travel through space and time and then come back and be like, I don't know, I was busy, son and wife. I was in outer space with my mind.
If you go and rewatch the first season, like we are right now, there are so many scenes where he's just consoling Bobby about his dead friend and all these things. His parts are amazing.
They are. They
It's
really
so,
are.
so good.
Yeah.
Every word out of his mouth is just perfect. So
So
yes, I would really love to see someone dress up in that. And that'd be a pretty easy costume if you know anyone who's got like a military garb.
yeah, that's all it is. Yeah, that's it. And if
I
you're bald,
also
that
love
helps.
sorry?
And if you're bald, it helps. He wasn't totally bald, but he was
Or
sort
the
of bald.
hat.
You know what I mean? Yeah, just put a hat on. Military
There's
garb
this
hat. I'm Garland. I went to the moon with my mind.
There's this one great scene where he's talking very calmly, and then he just slaps the cigarette out of Bobby's mouth. It just slaps him across the face. It
Very
was
good.
Like,
so good.
yeah.
Anyway, I also love the costume of Lil, the clown from Fire Walk with
Oh,
Me.
oh
She's
yeah,
the
yeah.
red dress and the blue rose.
Yeah, Lil. That's right. Her name was Lil. I always think of her as like Blue Rose or Blue Flower. But that was great. I remember when Jimbo dressed up that first year. Holy crow. It's a good costume. It's so dramatic with the red.
It's a great costume. Yeah, if I wasn't performing, if I was just a guest, I'd probably be in that costume.
Yeah, it's a really intense one. And then you've got like an associated thing you do. You do a funny little dance.
Oh, she's great. She's got all the moves and a little sour face.
And it was a whole message.
Yeah.
She's got a sour face. So I forget what the dude said, but it had something to do with like this is going to be a tough case because she's got a sour face, or like, oh no, that's what it was. She had a sour face because the local authorities were not receptive to the feds coming in. So it was like, by the way, tip off, they're not into you talking or engaging on this. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, there's so many fun experiments with symbolism that Lynch gets up to in his film Exploits. Hopefully there will be some folks that dress up as Lynch and yell, but ideally they won't yell too much when everyone's performing, right? Because that would really suck.
You know, people will do what they need to do, and if that's what they feel they need to do in that moment, I'm gonna rock with them.
Just roll with it.
Yeah.
Okay, what can we sort of expect from what you guys are getting ready to do? Just as, songs from the Black Lodge, in your incarnation as songs from the Black Lodge. What are some things you're excited about that's going to be happening on the night?
Oh, well, we're going to be performing some songs.
What's one song that we're gonna do that we haven't done before?
Ooh.
We're going to do Sycamore Tree. We did perform Sycamore Tree once before, but we had a guest
Nice.
singer, and I think we did that at Northern Quarter.
No,
One of our
it
rare
was it was at the Caporal.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
Sure. Because I had a trumpet solo in the middle, and my trumpet teacher was there, and when I saw her, I flubbed it up, and then I got really upset.
Oh, yeah. Well, this time you're going to nail.
I was
Actually,
so nervous.
Yeah, totally. That's a cool song. That's a really cool
Fun.
song. Yeah.
and I'm going to be doing vocals on that one. An octave.
Ooh.
lower.
Oh my God. Do you
Yeah.
feel nervous?
That'll be fun. Oh no.
Oh no. Not
I
at
don't
all.
really. I don't really
I'm the
get.
nervous one.
I don't really get nervous. It'll be fun. I like singing, so
Cool.
I'll just
Okay.
get to sing more.
That's really exciting. No, that's a great song to be doing a cover of. And also, obviously, when you guys do your own versions of these, you're doing your own versions of them. I think there's a lot to be said for like, yeah, cover music is cover music, but then there's people that take something and then they rework it in their own way and it becomes their version of it. And that's a little bit different from a cover, So that's the kind of fun of what ends up happening with this is these songs are your own in the end, even though they're covers. They're like your own version of the song. Since we're actually talking about Twin Peaks music, what are some of your favorites, from the series? Because there's obviously a plethora of different artists that kind of capture the sound of the whole show and the series. What are some of your favorites?
I always look forward to playing Nightingale. That one always feels good.
I love all the Julie Cruz. I love all the Julie Cruz ones.
Yeah.
I think my favorite is the Pink Room.
It's a good one. It's so catchy.
That's my favorite off of the soundtrack.
Mm.
Not necessarily like my favorite out of the ones that we're doing, but it's just like, yeah, it's a stripper tease dance number. I mean, it's got all the boom chickas that you need.
Yeah, it totally does.
And all the other songs are very like slow and pretty and kind of melody driven, and this one's just like blues groove. So it kind of just busts out of nowhere. I also really love that scene in the movie. I believe so. Another band that's performing that night is Gord Light Band,
Yeah,
and they're performing as Maddie and the One-Eyed Jacks, which is a wicked name.
that is very cool. Are they gonna be doing covers as well too?
They're doing a lot of songs from the new season.
Oh wow! Oh my gosh! Wild. Okay, cool. The Visitor Roadhouse folks.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, intense, groovy.
And so that'll be interesting because it's a totally different vibe that season musically. Easy Rider's playing. That's Casey Ryder.
Nice.
And I'm not sure what he's doing. I sent him some ideas, some really off the charts different things, and I don't know what he's gonna pick.
Yo, wild card. Just like
Yeah, I was really hoping someone would do some of that like Blue Frank stuff, and the Angelio Baliamenti when he does that weird beatnik talkie song. I feel a laugh coming on. You know that one?
Yep, that one. I think and it's talking about a dog too. Yeah, that one's good.
I'm just walking down the sidewalk in the middle of the street now, and I'm feeling
Yeah.
that. Yeah, it's a very weird. So I was hoping that someone would do that, but we will see how the performers are working on their set. So,
Sweet. Yeah, there's quite a good collection.
and the Paper Streets.
Yeah. Paper Street's gonna be coming back again and doing their improvisation, which is amazing. Paper Street Lynchian improv. So cool, right?
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, and it's a cool experience to go and do that, and it's like our own little Twin Peaks fest that we have. I know that there's a big one out in, I always say the name wrong, Sinoquet Falls, but out there they have that huge one, or at least they have some kind of thing that they do every single year. I'm sure they didn't do it over COVID, but and it's nice to have our own version of it because we are on the West Coast, and there's a whole environmental feature to being in this environment that alludes to Twin Peaks-esque experiences. So,
And it's just right across the border. It's the Canada side.
oh,
What else is happening at the show? So my friend Susan helped me. I told her that I wanted to create a card game,
right on, nice.
some sort of like table game that we could play with Twin Peaks style. And
Nice.
so Susan Farmer has helped to do that. And so right when people arrive, we're gonna be showing them how to play. That's my dog. That's my dog crying.
It's Nola.
Oh, I took his toy on the. Sorry, buddy.
Oh,
No. So anyway, there's going to be this really rad table game, and it's kind of like it's a really simple game where, say, there's four of you sitting at a table. You have to figure out which one at the table is Bob,
oh dear
and
God.
so yeah, it's just a.
Who's
it's really
Bob?
simple. Which
We're
one
all
is
screwed.
Bob, right? And it's a very simple, fun game that you can play while you're just getting your drinks and settling in. So there's going to be table games, there's going to be theater, there's going to be burlesque, there's going to be donuts and prizes and snacks and a photo booth
Yes.
and the log lady and cool music from cool bands
There's so much that's going to be happening. It's all on the
and a
25th.
lovely host.
Yes.
And it's all happening on the day after Laura Palmer's body was found wrapped in plastic on the.
Who knew that this could be a celebratory, gathering on such grim circumstances? But in this world, in the Lynch world, yes, it can be. Anything can happen in the Lynch world. So, no, absolutely. I think the table game is so wonderful for people to know about. And actually, what are the protocols with tickets? Because I know we have a different thing, and you know a bit more about the VEC structure with tickets and whatnot.
Well-
Are people buying 2 tickets at a time, or how does that work? What do they know for folks that are just hearing this now and they want to get last minute tickets?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
'Cause with COVID, everything is changing every day.
Yeah.
So when COVID is flared up, everybody has to sort of buy a table. So you're either buying
Yeah.
2 tickets or 4 tickets or 6 tickets, and then you're sitting with your group at your
Right.
own table.
Okay.
If COVID is sort of more open and a lot safer, then there'll also be some individual tickets available.
Okay, cool. That's perfect. So especially at the VEC, it's table based, and that's
I recommend a table. Like, I recommend coming with somebody or a group and sitting at a table for this event, because we have the table games and we have donuts and we have you could go anywhere in that venue and it'll be great.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, it is definitely structured to be a table oriented thing because of COVID and also because of how it works for the VEC. I've been out of the venue game for a while, so I know the tables are a thing in some places. But okay, no, that sounds wonderful.
But if you are just coming by yourself, don't let it deter you, because you might get to sit with make a cool new friend at the table, or you might get a table all to yourself. Who knows?
Only way to find out is to go and get a ticket ASAP on ticketbracket.com.
That's right.
So do that. But final thoughts. Anything you want to just sort of like, cherry on top it kind of thing, message to the folks at large?
Yeah, well, we're also working on a new album filled with, some of Lily's cry songs from COVID. And hopefully that'll be coming out this year. Things seem like a year goes by and nothing happens nowadays with COVID. So hopefully that comes out soon.
Don't let that deter you guys. That's a great thing to make another album. So I'm excited.
Woo-hoo!
I know other people will be stoked. So awesome. And then eventually touring can happen again.
Right. I would love that.
Yeah. Exciting. And then of course, you're going to be over at Twin Peaks night on February 25th. Oh my God.
Yes!
Oh my God. At the VEC.
February 26th, 25th.
25th.
Wait, which day is it?
It's 25th. I have it circled on my calendar.
February 25th, the day after they find Laura Palmer's dead body wrapped in plastic. And it starts at 8 p.m.
What day of the week is that?
That's a Saturday.
Friday.
Oh, it's a Friday. My God. You're gonna have
night,
to,
yeah.
you gotta edit this down to 5 seconds, right? So there's lots of things you can cut. 5-second interview.
Oh, that'd be such a disappointing interview. Be like, and then it would shut off.
Be a good noise track though.
That's true. Yeah. And then just repeat it over and over again.
Yeah.
And this is exactly how a song starts.
This is how
we do it. This is the process right now happening.
I love
Actually, we were jamming Twin Peaks songs the other day, and we did World of Blue. And at the end of World of Blue, we just did like this epic noise. It turned into like a whole noise thing. And and I was like, next time we do a noise show, I want to do this song, and it'll start off so pretty, and people will think, why are they here?
And then it can totally just disintegrate into particles of sound and noise.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
All
Eric,
right.
what's your favorite kind of thing, or what do you drink?
Drinking.
What are you guys drinking anyways? Coffee.
Oh, a cup of Joe, obviously. How do you take your coffee, Eric?
Black as midnight on a moonless night.
That's right.
That's pretty black.
That is very black. And you just pulled a bob and vanished. So I think that coffee had its effect. It keeps on having its effect each time you drink it. So
Oh my gosh. So let Eric rattle off some who we are and what our handles are.
yeah. How can people find you? Obviously, they can probably, come down to Twin Peaks night on the 25th. That's a good way to find you for starters. But
We'll be there.
you'll be wearing
Only
underwear.
in my dreams.
You can Google Hush Hush Noise. You can type Hush Hush Noise in your Spotify's. You can type hushhushnoise.bandcamp.com. If you want to listen to our album the old school way, download it.
Or if you want to listen to the Twin Peaks album, you can type in
Songs from the Black Lodge.bandcamp.com.
That's the one.
Nice.
And that's available for a free or by donation download. So I highly recommend
Yay. Nice.
Yeah.
Can get the Twin Peak vibes going even sooner.
Yeah, we want to share it. We're on Spotify, we're on iTunes, we've got a cute website, and we're on Instagram at Hush Hush Noise.
Nice. What was the website handle?
hushhushnoise.com.
That simple, huh?
So easy. No one else had that name.
That's so good. That's good that you didn't have to fight for domains. Okay, this is beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Lily and Eric, for chatting with me. I am forever in love with your creative and playful spirits. I look forward to your new album coming out this year and seeing you at the 4th annual Twin Peaks evening this Friday. Hush Hush Noise will be performing in person as Songs from the Black Lodge at the Victoria Event Centre for a Twin Peaks evening on Friday, February 25th at 8 p.m.